is the Bill Squire Show.
Are you going to eat during the podcast? Don't eat during the podcast. We're only going to do like 20 minutes today.
I'm late. Let's go.
You're late. It's your fault. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Bill Squire Show. I'm here with a special guest, the returning guest, John Bruton, and he's special guest today because his birthday's on Sunday, and we have a show together at Hilarities, the Jokes on You show, which is the all crowd work show, which we've been doing for like a year and a half now, and it's a lot of fun. And we want you to come out and see it, and it's gonna be extra special because it's John's birthday.
Yes. Trying to get some special guests. Working on it still. But it's fun.
No matter what, it's fun.
It's going to be a fun show.
It's a fun show no matter what. Last month's show was one of the best things that's happened in 2020. Like, seriously, it was just so fun and like light and like it was just a great time.
Yeah, it felt good to be back up there doing it. And I like the changes we've made. So
I like doing it in the big room.
Yeah, before I didn't like that. When we first did it, I didn't like the big room as much.
I like the big room with the lights up a little bit.
Yeah, like now we know what we want. So
so that works. So come out to that. That's this coming Sunday. It's only $10, and it's a lot of fun. So we this isn't like a regular stand-up show. If you don't know what crowd work is, we're talking to the audience. We're not just like insulting them. We're using what they tell us about them. Like we're doing like an interview and making it funny. And you never know what's going to happen. So there's like this, it's comedy without a net because it's not written material. You're not doing stuff that you've performed a bunch of times that works. You're up there using your wit and going off the top of your head, and it's so fucking fun.
Yeah, it's like the part of being a comedian. Like, you think you're funny? Yes, I'm so funny. I can just go up on stage and we're gonna have some fun. Yeah. So I like that part of it. It is safety. There's no safety net. I like that.
There's no safety net. You have to be funny. Yeah. And sometimes the audience gets a bit bigger laugh than the comic, and that can be funny too.
You should get credit for it. You were on stage.
Yep.
It was
you made it happen. Yeah. It's a joint effort. So I am a little bit. I had a nice weekend. My aunt was in town, and she came, and I was at Hilarities this weekend with John Heffron and Jason Banks. Jason Banks is so fucking funny. John's funny too, but Jason Banks is just that kind of funny where he's so silly and like laid back and it just comfortable on stage. I love watching Jason.
Oh yeah. He's one of my favorites.
He's fantastic. So that was fun. But my aunt's in town. She's from Boston, and she was driving through because her son lives out in Colorado. So she drives out there and drives back.
From Boston to Colorado?
And then she stops along the way. Colorado.
Word,
it's so far.
Yeah.
It's so far. But she'll break it up, and she's got family and friends all across the country. So she stops and spreads coronavirus on her way, which is nice of her.
Does she know that there's a plane? Has she ever heard of a plane?
She doesn't want to go to an airport, and she is an Air Force mechanic, and I don't think she likes flying.
Fair enough. Because that's a lot.
It's a lot of driving. But no,
Boston to Colorado Springs.
And it's also because in Boston right now, in Massachusetts, like if you go through the airport, you have to quarantine for 14 days if you fly in there. Like when you get home, you have to quarantine for 14 days. They make you do that. So this is just her little loophole for not having to quarantine for 14 days. Anyway, the point is yesterday she wanted to see my condo. She wanted to see the view, and we had dinner and stuff here. And as soon as like my mom's like, hey, your dad, parking over here is a pain in the ass. You know that. They call me and like, your dad's going to drop us off while he looks for parking. I got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay. And my mom comes up here, like buzzes past me, just goes right into the bathroom. And I'm just talking to my aunt, not really thinking anything about it. And then I realized, it's been a few minutes. And then she comes out and she's like, hey, Bill, I clogged your toilet. And I was like, God damn, you hustled the shit into my house. You... Not like usually it sounds like I gotta use your bathrooms because you were like driving for a while and you have to pee. My mom had to hustle up here to not shit her pants and then had the audacity to clog my toilet and then casually tell me about it. She did not have enough embarrassment. And that's why I'm telling you this story, because she should have been way more embarrassed, but she is my mom. And if anyone's wondering where I get it, it's my mom's side. when it comes to dumping, because and these are not easy toilets to clog up here. These are, gravity's on your side.
Yeah. Plus, it's not a hard thing usually. It's not really hard.
Whatever she did,
yeah.
I don't know what she's doing, but she was able to clog.
Because it could have been a tissue issue.
Could have been a tissue issue, but I don't think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because I went in there and had to deal with it, and it was not.
Oh, that's love there too.
Yeah, she's my mom. If you don't love your mom enough to unstop a toilet that she clogged with her own fat, heavy
you're
shit,
a horrible person.
then you're a horrible person.
Because she wiped your ass at least enough time to earn at least one good cleanup.
She took whatever she did in my toilet is not as bad as what I did to her coming out.
Oh, yeah. Like there's no equivalent.
Yeah. So.
The worst mother still deserves a good clogging. Unclogging, I mean.
It's one of those things, though, where I'm just... Because she's just like, hey, Bill, your toilet won't flush. And I'm just like, you could have a little more shame. Like, you could have taken more time and, like, wait. And she's just like, nah. It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would expect my mother to do the same. My mother would act... concerned but helpless at the same time.
Yeah, she's just like...
It's like, I don't know what happened. Nigga,
she's like, Bill, you got a situation that I created that you got to deal with.
Yeah, it was like, you know exactly what happened, and you want to act like we're going to be surprised together when we realize it's my problem now. It's like, I think something's wrong with your toilet. Something wrong with my toilet.
And just hustling the shit in here just maybe, goddamn. Just, she's... I expected pee. I thought she had to pee. But she's like, no, I got to hurry up and take a dump.
I'm trying to think what's harder to do. To like find somewhere, like using the bathroom in somebody's house and telling them you fucked it up.
Well, if it's, I mean, there's levels to it. Like a relative, like that's my mom, and that goes both ways. That's easy. Cousin, uncle, that's a little tougher. You get into friend, that can be around that depending on the level of friendship. But the worst is if you're like at a stranger's house.
Yeah, I think the worst person is the person who comes over with a friend.
Yeah.
And their first introduction is, because that happened to numerous times I've seen in my lifetime, I should say.
Yeah.
Where the person that came with somebody was the fuck up.
Yeah, that's...
So it's like that shit. It's like if I brought a guy over here right now with me to your house, and you're kind of like, yo, and you didn't tell me this for one.
Yeah.
And I don't like this dude. And he fucks up something in my house.
Right. Yeah, then that's the absolute worst. But being that guy... I feel like I'm pretty good at being that plus one and just playing it cool in a situation. I'm gonna, like, if I clog a toilet, usually I'm resourceful enough that I can get it unclogged, and then I'm just gone for a little while.
I'm gonna show you those two. Those are my first flyers.
Oh boy!
When I first started, I was random as fuck, by the way. I know. I was in my pocket, my phone vibrated. This is the first one when I had shorter hair.
Look at John.
This is the first one right here. I had short hair.
Yeah, look how short it is.
And I had put a Photoshop tape over my mouth because, I say the things that, every comic thinks are edgy.
You didn't have tape? You had to Photoshop it?
Yeah, I didn't like the tape part. I taped it and it didn't look right when the flash happened. So I just tried to make it.
Gotcha, yeah.
I couldn't find
little baby John.
Photogenic tape.
I like you better without the hair, to be honest.
Me too. It was funny because I was talking to girls, like, they see me now, they're like, oh my God, you're so much cuter now without your hair. Because, I guess they just, I don't know what I was doing fashion-wise in this one. Like, this is just a different.
You look like unemployed private eye.
Yeah, like I was trying to be a comic. Like, I know what a comic was.
Well, that's kind of, that's kind of how we all dress. We all have that stuff where we're trying to, like, emulate. And we also don't realize that how comics dress in their special isn't how you dress every time you go on stage.
Oh, yeah.
So you see someone doing like a TV spot or something like that, and they're, wearing something extravagant or ridiculous, but that's because that's for the special. That's not how they dress every day.
Yeah.
Unless they're Dave does.
Unless you're Dion Cole.
Or Dave Chappelle does, too.
Yeah.
But that's newer, too, because Dave was... He wasn't as... over the top as he is now.
Oh, now he just wears what he wants, but he does what he wants.
Did you see the hoodies that he's selling?
Yeah.
They're like 500. They're marked down from 700. I know we saw, but I couldn't really tell what it was. Like I just thought it had like blue stripes on it. I thought it was like a regular hoodie. I didn't realize it had like a jean jacket on it.
Yeah, like the sleeve is cut and it's part of the side is cut. I mean, I get it. I wouldn't buy it. I saw it. I'm like, if they had a Chappelle regular hoodie with just the logo on it, I'd fuck with that. But
yeah, I don't like the jean jacket part. I thought it was just like a light blue because that's what Kevin Hart was wearing when we went and saw him.
But that was jean jacket. When you find out, it's like, oh, I guess.
Like I'm just like, that's not my.
Yeah, I'm cool.
I'm all right on that.
I'd rather have a T-shirt. I've seen them in stores in Yellow Springs that say Chappelle Summer Camp. Yeah, it's like this funny summer camp. Like it's like the pavilion, but like a summer camp. Whatever you call those things when you're walking towards the gate. It's a
like
big.
What is that called?
Like the Playhouse Square has their Playhouse Square. Like that whole just welcome to this Jurassic Park type shit. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but I know everything I've seen.
Arch, just like the gate arch. Yeah.
So whatever that's called, leave that in the comments or online, people.
Yeah, please do.
So we just did the same thing at the same time. That was so gay.
Oh, then we just look about both our watches. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this. I'm going to see Tenet in a little bit.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna see it this Friday or Saturday. We're me and my old lady gonna leave town.
Oh yeah, where you guys going?
She planned it out. I don't know.
You don't even know.
It's a be boyfriend girlfriend trip again.
Okay. Is this your first trip together?
No, but it's our first. We like a reconnected trip. We both been busy as hell and pregnancy, so we ain't really had time to be boyfriend girlfriend anymore. It's been prepare for baby time.
Yeah. Well, that'd be nice for you, and it's your birthday weekend.
Yep.
Get away, relax a little bit, come back.
Not be in the house.
Do some jokes.
The house is not the house anymore. You know, it's we're preparing to give this house to a little person.
Yeah.
So we're preparing the house to be for this little person, and we just got it for her a minute ago, just to make it now for the kid.
Yeah, right.
So we haven't had time to be boyfriend girlfriend since quarantine happened. So we haven't been together.
Yeah.
Like that since we just cool.
Yeah, you're just around each other. You're not like romantic or anything like that.
We'll text you all the time. I miss you. Like we go into the whole emotions we have. Like I haven't seen you in fucking a week.
Yeah,
I see you, but it's 3 hours.
Right.
So it's good to get
that'll be nice. We went to Jamestown, went back to the Comedy Museum.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was fun. You got to get out there. That place is fantastic.
Keep telling me that, and I probably will when
it's like
after the baby. We'll take a trip there.
It's like 2.5 hours from Cleveland, so it's not even a bad drive. You can do it in a day. I like to stay over. We stayed over. There's a La Quinta hotel right across the street from it, so you can walk there. They serve booze there, but get a little fucked up in your hotel, then walk over. Have some good times in there, and just it's so much fun.
I gotta do that when the kid cares about something, so I can show her the comedy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take her too. I'm gonna take my girl there first, but it's just that type of. It's just weird now. You have to plan that shit. It's like I didn't think I'd ever be that guy.
Yeah,
or have to plan private time with my lady or whatever.
That's what happens as you grow up, though. I mean, even yesterday, just having my family over, I realized. My mom didn't tell me exactly what we were doing, but I guess we were having a picnic. And we did it out in the backyard. And she's just like, yeah, we're going to come over to check out your place and then go get some dinner. And I thought they were going to go out to dinner. And then I was going to meet them at the club because they came to my show too. And then they didn't do that. They ordered food, but my sister went and got it. And, it was fine, but I didn't have paper plates or plastic cups or anything. I was ill prepared for that whole situation. So then I'm running around to try and get that all squared away, and then got it. It was still nice. It was a good day for it. And my aunt also this morning when she woke up, she thought she lost her key to her rental car, and so then I have to go and this is 7:30. I wake up. I'm just trying to pee, and I check my phone. And mom's like, "Hey, she lost her key. Can you check all over the place?" I have to scour my apartment, tear everything apart, see if I can find the key. Then I got to go downstairs out where we had the picnic, look there. I got to text Scott and Sam from Hilarities, see if she lost it there. I got to call the front desk here, see if they had it turned in. And so, instead of a nice, relaxing morning, it becomes this whole situation where I have to try and assist and do everything that I can to, help alleviate this situation. Around noon, my mom texts me and she's like, "It was in her purse." Ah! You didn't
tell me sooner.
Sometimes I don't want to say this is just women, but I think it's
more
women.
It's parents.
No, I think, but when you lose something,
Oh.
I think when people lose something, I am going to exhaust all my resources
Before I tell people
that I lost something. I'm going to do, like, if I know that it was in this bag or purse, I'm going to take everything out of that bag or purse and not just root around in it. I'm doing an extensive search before I wake people up and make them do a search for it.
Cool. I did one time. I left my wallet in Cleveland and I left for a weekend.
Yeah.
Oof. I found out I didn't have my wallet on me when I got gas.
Yeah.
I was.
Is this a common thing? This isn't with Sam though. This is another time.
No, this is me. I was on the road.
Okay.
Oh no, that happened too.
Yeah.
That's funny. So I left my wallet here in Cleveland. I'm at Ashland by the time I realize it, and it's the day of the show, so I can't go back an hour and then I'm doing 3 hours added to like an 8-hour drive. So I'm like, fuck. All right, I gotta figure this out. I got a way to link my
card to
my phone, and I only went to high-tech gas stations.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't stop at anywhere that it was like a mom-and-pop gas station. I'm like, I had to judge it. Like, it's too poor. I can't get
Yeah, this looks too sketchy. Yeah, you got to be able to do the Apple Pay.
Yeah, and then when I got to the show, I got money from the headliner, and we was good. Like, spending money and stuff. But it was like, that shit was, I went too far to not have any money.
No, I get that, man.
As an adult. It was like, I can't turn around, and thank God phones. I hate phones for like those type of reasons, but I'm like, okay, technology
comes in handy now. Yeah,
yeah. Like
I love that Apple Pay shit.
Oh, financially, it's in my pocket at all times.
Yep.
You need to have my hand. It's like being a spy at all times.
Yeah.
Like, this is me. Here's my money.
All right. Well, we are keeping this one short this week because I gotta go. But John and I. This Sunday at Hilarities, John's birthday show.
Sunday.
It's going to be a blast. I think Mary's going to be on it. Is
Mary's there.
Rob's not
Rob's
there.
going to be out of town.
Rob's going to be out of town.
Yeah.
Do we get anybody else?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Right. Drew Miller's a regular.
Drew Miller, he's very funny.
There. And I'm working on other guys who haven't particularly been there yet or haven't been around as often. I'm trying to bring out some old dogs.
Also, another thing I texted Sam about at Hilarities, and I'm hoping this comes through. I want to do this show live at Hilarities.
I did the same thing.
And I was like, let's do this show live. And then we'll have, because there's all these amateurs that want to get on stage there. And there's no, like they used to do the Mike Polk Jr. show. And that's not a thing right now. So we can have them come up. They do sets. And then me and you and Mary will give them feedback on their sets.
Because I told them I want to do a podcast there. We were talking about just ideas with trying to change the club with. And I'm like, well, I can do my podcast Friday Late Show and just ask like comics after. But it was more selfish for me. It wouldn't be for helping anybody besides myself.
Well, I don't want to help them as much as I want to have them go up and do their thing. And then they get to be on stage there. And that's what they want to do. And then we get to have fun with them.
Yeah, I mean, plus it'd be good. I'd help. I definitely
similar
would
to like a Kill Tony type thing.
Yeah, matter of fact, me and Brian Kennedy talked about that years ago, not last year, but it's been a while.
Yeah, and
we were talking about The Voice, how they would turn around in their chairs.
Yeah,
and we would do a show called The Joke, where we would be with our backs to them, and when they told a good joke, you turn our chairs around.
And then you go through your whole set. Nobody turns around.
Then you try and help somebody get better. Yeah. Like The Voice, only with jokes. We thought about that
something like that. Maybe we'll do that.
I mean, it's all whatever. But I mean, I would give real comics real feedback. I would never tell a comic they're not funny because I hate that.
No, I wouldn't say that, but I'd still like.
I mean, we would get everybody though. We would get anybody. So some people would be a fucking trash fire.
Yeah,
and we'd let them finish their 3 minutes.
But we'd have fun with it, and we can be mean, but it's all with love.
I mean, I think it would be dope because I think I would push people when they did jokes, like hacky jokes.
Yeah.
I would push them.
And we could explain to the audience, too, why that's not okay. Yep. And that'd be fun. All right.
Fun. Yeah, so look at that new shit happening. It's exclusive. We have it on here. Is it copywritten? Can we own that idea we just gave the world?
The idea that we just gave the world,
the show.
The turnaround one, I think that's the joke. Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I told Jeff Dye that shit trying to pitch it to NBC. I've been trying to work my hand on every nigga right now.
All right. Well,
everybody. I'm trying to give them let's get something.
All right. Anyway, check out the Instagram Heidi this week. You can come see me and John this Sunday at Hilarities. Hey, everybody. I am here with Scarlett. How do you say the Chaton?
Chaton.
Chaton. Okay. I'm not that smart, so I don't know how to say it. But I have seen you perform several times. It's been a little while since I last went to a burlesque show, but you are incredibly talented. And
Oh, thank you.
I'm honored to have you on the podcast.
I'm really excited to be here. It's my first podcast ever, so
Well,
it's gonna be good.
I'm excited. So let's just jump right into this. How did you get into burlesque?
Okay, so it all started in college. Basically, like I don't smoke and I don't drink, so I was like, I'm never gonna be like a party girl or whatever. But my freshman year of college, I went to a burlesque show hosted by the school. And I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be the crazy thing I do in college. So I went to a couple of shows and then I ended up joining the shows in college. And at that time, it was kind of a disjointed once a year type of thing. But after I'd done it for a couple of years, I was like, you know what? Let's make this a student organization. And I did. I got the charter, I got all the leadership, and it became a full-fledged student organization. And I was the president. We had like the VP, we had the treasurer and everything. So it ended up becoming 4 shows a school year, and I was directing and producing all of them as well as performing.
Well, that's very cool. What school is this at?
Oberlin College Conservatory.
Oh, okay. Poundcake, who is the co-host or the phone screener on the Alan Cox Show, grew up in Oberlin. He didn't go to Oberlin, but
Excellent.
He grew up there. So that's a pretty progressive school. So I imagine they probably took to that. It's not like trying to start a burlesque show at like Notre Dame or something.
Yeah,
I think they need. I think they definitely need that at Notre Dame. But so you got into that, and then you've been doing it ever since. And how long have you been out of college?
So I have been doing burlesque professionally for about 3 years, if you don't count the last 6 months of, nothing live happening. I graduated my second degree in the middle of 2017. So this is coming up as my 3rd year as a full grown adult out of school.
That's really cool to be able to do this professionally, because I know a lot of people like kind of get into, I mean, it's kind of similar to comedy where there's, especially in a place like Ohio, there's professional comedians, but there's a lot of people that are more, they have aspirations to be professional, but other things get in the way. So it's kind of a hobby for them, or just something that they have to have as like a back burner thing. But to have a career in burlesque dancing must take a lot of dedication and just a lot of networking and like what goes into being a professional burlesque dancer.
Well, I have to clarify, it is still probably in the hobby category for me. It's never been my full-time thing, but I do take it very seriously, and it's a big part of my life as artistic expression. Mm-hmm. So I'm not, doing shows every weekend. I wish I was, and hopefully I'll get to that point at some points. And especially since moving to Columbus, I've had to re-network and re-meet people. So I haven't done that many shows since I moved down here, but I had a pretty good frequency up when I was in Cleveland, and I'm hoping to return to that either in Columbus or in Cleveland in a few years.
Yeah, once everything is a little more normal.
Yeah.
So I've seen you perform, I think 2 or 3 times, and you are very, very good in that you put a lot, like you said, artistic expression. So you're not just up there dancing and taking your clothes off just for attention. You have some little story that you're trying to tell each time. And how do you come up with those stories? How do you kind of come up with like the vibe for each routine that you do?
Well, one thing that I have to give a big thanks to somebody else for is the concept of always having a story in your acts rather than it just being an act to a song. And I'm thanking Bellison and Dottie Kama for that. They're both burlesque people that taught me when I started becoming professional. And then after that, basically, I'm a musician at heart. Both my degrees are in classical music. And before the pandemic, I was working in the classical field. Unfortunately, I'm not doing that right now. But having such a strong connection to music and the amount of like genres that I like to listen to and engage with, I basically take all of the cues within the music and let it just put something in my head, whether it be a story, whether it be the colors of the act, whether it be, ooh, I want to make a garment that I can like unzip the entire dress like a watermelon or an orange peel. So it basically all comes down to the music for me.
And I think that's also something that people don't understand is the creation of the costumes is done by a lot of the burlesque dancers. Like that's part of the art of it, where you're not just up there doing routine. You're not up there just pulling off articles of clothing. A lot of times these are specifically made costumes that you have created to reveal certain body parts at certain times in the act, in the routine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the things that I love most about burlesque is seeing that creativity come to life where, okay, it might look like some normal clothing, but it's going to tear away in a different way than you thought. And having that surprise and that reveal is enticing, and it's sexy, and it's fulfilling to see creative new ways of doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things, sorry if I'm shaky, I have an anxiety disorder, which like also being a performer on stage, that comes into play. I hide it a lot when I'm on stage.
All right. Well, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So having that anxiety disorder and then being someone that, you get pretty naked on stage. How does that balance out? Like, how does that, is this empowering for that disorder?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it played into my classical music as well. My instrument is French horn, as many people may know, or maybe they have no clue what a French horn is, but you blow into the instruments. So having an anxiety disorder that manifests physically, which is why I get like a shaky voice and things like that, it's something that I had to work throughout my college years. And burlesque was a whole new different avenue. Once I started doing burlesque and had more control over the entire artistic picture, I was able to have the confidence in like, here's the hours of preparation I've put into choreography, the hours of preparation I've put into the costuming, and like, now is my time. I can't be nervous. I want to share this in the best way with the audience that's in front of me.
Well, very cool. And that's very admirable to take an anxiety disorder like that and kind of face it head on, where you're going right at it and not letting it disable you from doing the things that you want to do. You mentioned that you don't drink. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I've never done substances, and I'll probably be that way my entire life.
That's and what made you make that decision?
Family history. I don't want to go down any roads that some of the people went down. I want to have a full control of myself at all times.
And I think when you have an anxiety disorder, it definitely lends yourself to self-medicate when it comes to substances. And I think having the awareness to see that and not partake or not feel like you have to be pressured into doing it or have to try and fit in, that's pretty cool. So you're a pretty strong person that doesn't really need, you don't really play by society's rules in a lot of way. And
that's very true. Yeah. I mean, I'm a master's degree holding stripper. So, like break down those stereotypes.
Yeah. Usually they're working their way through school stripping, and you did it too
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me also clarify this. I've done burlesque fancy, but I also have done like strictly like in the strip club stripper. Some people like to have a delineation between the two. Burlesque is definitely a sex work. It's definitely stripping, just in a different way than your classic, like going to a strip club.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that something that you do now, or you don't do that anymore? Or is that something, and what made you, like, for someone to have an anxiety disorder and not just do burlesque, but then also do stripping and work in that club, that is a whole nother level of intimacy and just in putting yourself out there, because you're I mean, being a good stripper or exotic dancer, whatever you want to call it, is you are the product and you have to sell it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I'm not currently a stripper. I've been debating back and forth if I want to return to it, simply because of the health pandemic that we're going through. Me being unemployed right now, it definitely seems a little more enticing. But so I did stripping on and off for about 2 years. I did it up in Cleveland and also have done it down here in Columbus. And in Columbus, once I got my like more professional day job, I ended up stopping doing that because I didn't want there to be any conflicts with my like current employer and any judgments they may have on that type of work. But I absolutely love it. I adore the girls there. I want to learn more. I don't really have any pole skills yet. I just make it look good.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Well, I think that's very cool that you are that open about it. I've had plenty of people on that do OnlyFans, and I know that you don't do that, but I would just want to know how do you deal with the people that kind of bully you online? Because I know there's a lot of people that when people post revealing pictures and stuff like that, they will report those photos on Instagram And that's really, it just doesn't fit you. It's very damaging to what you're trying to put out there, because it's like you can just unfollow, but they go out of their way to try and tear you down or try and make you feel like you're less than because you're in this sex worker category.
Yeah, absolutely. I consider myself extremely lucky. I have not yet had that experience on social media nor in person. So I'm definitely, I feel like the lucky few that hasn't had someone have that combative negative energy and opinions towards me. But if or when that eventually happens to me, I plan on being like, hey, listen, I'm doing what I want and I look great doing it. Your opinion doesn't matter. And maybe you should educate yourself and realize that sex work is a great part of the world. We can all do whatever we want. And if you don't like it, just don't go on my Instagram. Like, why are you wasting your energy trying to attack these people? Like, there's got to be something like deeper in there that's giving you these problems.
And a lot of times they're doing it anonymously, where they're just reporting the photos and getting them taken down. And it's just, a lot of times, you know, there is something that it just, the other person's jealous, or they're just, you know, a hater or whatever you want to call it. But it's really, it goes to show like the poor character of that person, where it's so simple to not see that stuff if you don't want to, because you just don't have to follow it. Like, it's like you're going looking for it if you're seeing it that often that you feel like you have to report it and you have to demonize somebody.
Yeah, and I also understand that some people may have more conservative upbringings and have been taught or come to learn that it is bad to engage in those types of entertainments. But to those people, I would just hope that they would look at the world around us. We're 2020. Women are empowered as hell, and we can do what we want. And men and non-binary people, anybody anywhere in the gender spectrum or non-gendered, we can do what we want. Like,
right,
it's the time to do that. And if you feel those negative feelings against sex workers and people in similar categories, try to have a little introspection and see where that comes from and why you have such a problem with it.
That's a great message to have for people, because there's so many people that have that misunderstanding, and then they feel like their values are being attacked, when these are just people trying to express themselves and show off who they are, and in hope that other people can just understand and accept, because that's what a lot of people are just looking for, is that understanding and that acceptance to be the person that they feel they are.
Exactly.
So what's the plan? I mean, this pandemic's going to go on for a while. You got a plan to try, like, I know you guys have done some online shows and stuff like that. Anything coming up?
For me, unfortunately, no. I did a couple of online recordings. One was for a competition and one was an application for a festival, the Midwest Nerdlust Festival, which may or may not be happening in November. We'll see if it ends up online or in person. Not really feeling confident about in person right now. But the roadblock that I guess I kind of impose upon myself is I thrive on having that person-to-person interaction. So when I did those 2 recordings at my house, it was just my cat and my boyfriend watching. I was like, I really don't get that, like, you know, the cheering, the people watching, seeing people's reactions. So that's, for me, I have chose not to be in any online shows yet. But seeing as things aren't really getting better, I'm probably going to end up looking in that direction. I'm just not really sure.
Right. Okay. Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. I just
No, that's all right.
Like, I just know it's, you know, something that you are passionate about, and I hope that you can find a way to make it work. Have you thought about just moving down to the feet and taking advantage of those guys that like the feet stuff, putting that out there, selling those?
You know, I have thought about that. I've thought about doing pictures and online content in general, and it's kind of the debate of like, my more professional world is in the conservative side. I mean, classical music, it's a bunch of white men on the stage of the orchestra. That is, you know, totally generalizing it, but still, even so, like, if those types of employers have these strong opinions about sex workers, then there can become a clash. But I have considered feet pics. You know, it's the meme, but also like, hey, maybe it'll make money. But I am also getting my artistic outlet by making costumes. I'm currently working on 2 costumes for 2 completely different acts, all in the hopes that I can use that like costume buzz energy to put me back on stage, either online or in person, as soon as possible.
Very cool. All right. Going to costumes, what are you going to be for Halloween?
Oh my gosh. See, I love Halloween, but the fact that I have nowhere to share it, and also last Halloween, I was at the very professional job where I couldn't dress up all slutty like I'd like to.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a few different costumes hiding, because I literally have just bins of costumes for burlesque and non-burlesque. So I have kind of a Catwoman full tight leather that I might do, probably getting posted on Instagram. And then I have a couple of Harley Quinn things as well, because my stripper name is Harley.
Mm-hmm.
So people love that. Especially I would do like pigtails when I was at the club. They're like, "Oh my God, you look like Harley Quinn." I'm like, I know, that's the point. So something like that.
I think you should definitely lean in that direction, and I'm all about it. I'm leaning more towards I don't know if you've watched Cobra Kai. I
haven't yet.
Oh, Cobra Kai on Netflix is very entertaining. My girlfriend loved it. She has never even seen The Karate Kid. We watched it after we watched.
Oh, well, I've seen that. Yeah.
But like it's one of those things where it's just a really fun show. So I think I'm going to go in the Cobra Kai thing, and I feel like there's got to be something to do. Like so there was an article about I can't remember which school it was, but it was just saying, hey, we can just get drunk and walk around in costume. And I think that's kind of what I'm going to go for when it comes to Halloween. I'm just like, hey, why don't we all just get drunk and walk around and look at each other's costumes? Because there's not a holiday that is more accommodating to social distancing and masks than Halloween. So there's got to be a way to make this be like, something where as long as we're not congregating, as long as we're moving, as long as we're keeping our distance, we can all at least have some fun this year.
So be able to dress up. Yeah. And if there's anything social that I end up going to, I'll always be the designated driver. So
there you go.
If you're friends with me, you have an extra benefit.
That is, yes, that's a great benefit indeed. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Quick little interview, and I hope it wasn't too nerve-wracking for you.
Once I started talking and I calmed my body down a little bit, this is great. I love talking about this kind of stuff.
Well, it's very cool to see somebody so passionate about it and very understanding about it, and someone using it to overcome something in their life that can be so crippling. And I think that's very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Where can people find you on social media?
Okay, so I'm definitely the most active on Instagram. It is Scarlett.Chaton. Scarlett spelled like a color, but with 2 T's at the end. And then Chaton is Chaton. And then my Facebook, I currently have it more for networking and meeting other performers. So I don't necessarily add that many fans.
Yeah, we'll just
on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll get you on Instagram. We'll hopefully get you a bunch of followers on there. And once you're, whether you start creating online content, selling feet pick or just being able to go out and perform again, people can come and see you and you'll be able to share your art with them. Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Yeah, thank you so much. I had a great time.
All right, that's all.